as training camp arrives, we have a whole bunch of battles to watch throughout Lions training camp. And my number one battle is Hendon Hooker versus the quarterback 2 spot, Hendon Hooker versus Nate Sudfeld. Now, in my opinion, we still need to add a quarterback, whether that's a guy like Ryan Tannehill, Brian Hoyer, Blaine Gabbert. Matter of fact, let me pull up the free agency quarterbacks available right now because it's not very good. You got Ryan Tannehill, Brian Hoyer, Blaine Gabbert, A.J. McCarron from the UFL, Matt Barkley, Trevor Siemian, Logan Woodside, Felipe Franks, who I'm actually pretty sure is also a tight end, and Ben DiNucci. You're telling me that's a good free agency quarterback class. Obviously, guys will become available after preseason. However, I'm looking for training camp battles. This is a training camp battles video, and there's not very many guys in that list. Like, I would be fine with a guy like Brian Hoyer, even a Blaine Gabbert. However, they are definitely veterans. They've been in this league for a long time. Blaine Gabbert's been in the league for 12 years, and Brian Hoyer's been in the league for 14 years. I really don't know that they would have to be in training camp because they've had that much experience. But in my opinion, we still need a quarterback. Maybe that is what we're putting our last roster spot that is still available. But if we're not going to add a quarterback, how does Hendon Hooker immediately win the quarterback 2 job? That's what we're going to be going over in today's video. I think he should. I think he 100% should win the quarterback 2 spot. No doubt about it. If Hendon Hooker does not win the quarterback 2 spot, we have a problem. Because if Nate Sudfeld can beat out Hendon Hooker, then we have a major, and I mean major, problem. Because you guys know how I feel about Nate Sudfeld. I don't think the guy is very good at all. However, he is a practice squad quarterback. If he goes on the practice squad, I'm 100% fine with that. Like, he's not like Tim Boyle bad, because even my dad agrees with that Tim Boyle was probably one of the worst quarterbacks we've ever seen. But Nate Sudfeld, I don't think is that at all. I just don't think he is a very good quarterback. He's not a number 2. He's a number 3 at best. So if Nate Sudfeld can be put on the practice squad, then all day I am fine with that. But I'm just saying, if Nate Sudfeld beats out Hendon Hooker, then we have a major problem. And I think Hendon Hooker should be able to beat out him because he's now had a full season under his belt. He had Teddy Bridgewater mentor him, and I've read multiple articles that Teddy Bridgewater is still mentoring him. So I would be highly shocked if Hendon Hooker doesn't take that step forward. Obviously, we'll have preseason as well to determine that. However, I'm ready, man, for Hendon Hooker. He was projected to be a first-round pick, even with his injury he had. And if that injury didn't happen, he probably would have been a top 15 pick in the draft. He's a very talented quarterback. I've just heard a lot of concerns from him, and I have no concerns whatsoever. Even though a lot of other people have concerns about Hendon Hooker, I don't. I think he's going to win the quarterback 2 spot for sure. Now, if he doesn't win the quarterback 2 spot, then yes, I'm definitely going to talk about it and have a lot of concerns, but for right now, we're concerned. And we're going to go over all the other position battles in this video as well. Now, another position battle that I'm very interested in is backup center. Now, I don't know if we're going to keep backup center. You always know Graham Glasgow, good old reliable, a really good guard. He can play center. He can play good at it. That's what we did when Frank Ragnow went down a little bit last year. Glasgow moved to center, and then we had guys like Awosika, Sorsdale, Skipper coming and filling at guard for him. But we picked up 3 UDFA backup centers this year in UDFA free agency. We picked up Brian Hudson, Duke Clemens, and my boy Kingsley Ekukan. I like Kingsley Ekukan a lot. I really liked his tape in college. And matter of fact, I had the Lions drafting him in my mock drafts quite a bit in the 7th round. So Kingsley Ekukan, I'm really curious if he can take that next step forward and be our backup center. And I actually have making the 53-man roster. Go check my 53-man roster prediction 1.0 video. I had Kingsley Ekukan making the 53-man roster, and I believe he was the only UDFA I had making it. And I still am making it, man. I think Kingsley Ekukan can turn into something special. Like, even though he's projected to be a late 7th round pick, We got him in UDFA free agency. I think he can turn into something special. I really like the guy. Another position value is receiver. Everybody's interested in receiver, specifically the 5th and 6th string receiver. You still got Donovan Peoples-Jones and Raymond. I've actually heard Antoine Green competing for that number 3 spot, and we're going to make a video about that. It should be coming out in a couple of days as well. But number 5 and 6 spot, I'm not counting Antoine Green right now as my receiver number 3. I'm just not. If he shows something in training camp, like a lot in training camp, then maybe I'll throw him in the wide receiver number 3 competition, but not yet. I have him as my number 5. But that number 6 string wide receiver is still open. You got guys like Traquan Smith, Darius Fountain, Isaiah Williams, Caden Davis. You got all of them guys, Jalen Calhoun. And it's really up to, I believe, my opinion, it's the 6th string wide receiver spot is going to be Traquan Smith, Darius Fountain, or Caden Davis. A lot of people have Isaiah Williams being the 6th string receiver. I don't see that. I don't. He's projected to be a 7th round pick from Illinois. But the problem I have with Isaiah Williams, he's exactly what we already have in the receiving room. I understand he can be a kick returner. He was a good kick returner in college. However, he is built exactly like Raymond, and he's kind of built like St. Brown. We don't need that type of player on the team. We need a guy who is bigger, deep threat receiver, like a guy like Traquan Smith. Now, Traquan Smith, I believe he plays 50-50. He plays 50% in the slot, 50% on the outside. I'm not sure about Darius Fountain because Darius Fountain has been in the league for like 4 or 5 years, but he's really never played a game. He had, I believe, 4 career games in his career. Can't really go off of that, what if he plays slot or outside. I believe he plays outside, but don't quote me on that. That is another battle. Another battle is defensive end, and specifically the roster bubble defensive ends. The guys like the Matthew Betts, the Nate Lenz, the Mitchell Aguadus, the Isaac Ukwus. Those guys. Matthew Betts, I have making the team. A lot of people, 90% of Lions fans, have him making the 53-man roster. I don't think you cannot have him making the 53-man roster. But Mitchell Aguadu could take that spot. We put him on the practice squad. He was on the practice squad the whole entire season last year. You have the Isaac Ukwus, the Nate Lenz, who had production in college. Can they take that next step in the NFL? You have also more position value or competition, like the defensive back room. I'm very interested in Morris Norris. I thought he was one of my favorite free agency pickups. Name aside, I thought he had very good college tape. I really did. And you got the Khalil Dorseys and Stephen Gilmores and Vildors that he's fighting with. You got Brandon Joseph, who we picked up last year in UDFA free agency, was projected to be a 5th, 6th round pick safety. We got him in UDFA free agency, sticked on the practice squad the whole entire year. And if he can take that next step, he's going to be a dog. So we have a lot of position values. In this training camp, I think this is my most excited I've been for training camp in my whole entire Lions career as a fan, and I'm ready for preseason. I am so ready for preseason. Football is finally here. And as always, one pride, go Lions. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What position values you're ready to watch, and do you think you guys would add another quarterback? Can Hendon Hooker be quarterback too? Do you guys believe in Nate Sudfeld? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, one pride.